Bring it in, guys. Bring it in. Is anybody getting my... Is it showing up? I don't see one person. I don't see anything that even says I'm on my Facebook page. It's not even saying that I'm live. Boy, that sure doesn't help, does it? Anyone there? I'm going to check with Jenny. Can she see me? Ah, I see it finally. Okay, okay. Crazy. Crazy. Hi. Wait, this is just insane. It takes forever. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. Come on in. Here comes the folks. You know, I wonder sometimes about this. We have like some tremendous wind. I had a hard time connecting yesterday. I had having a hard time connecting today. But here comes Catherine and Yolanda, Emily. All is well in my world. Hi, Hermine from Germany. It is Holy Friday. It's Good Friday. It's Good Friday. Yay. I was getting a little worried. I was thinking, well, I'm just sitting here talking to myself, and how awful is that? Nobody wants to hear that, right? Oh, it's good to see everybody. And, it is a solemn day for sure. It is, if you are of the Christian faith, it's Good Friday. And it's quite a day. And my verse, what I woke up this morning with, was with Jeremiah 29:11. I know you know this one. And that is, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. I like that so much, so much. Can we all agree that we can hang on to this one? It's beautiful. And we have had massive wind and just a little bit of pollen around here. Not too bad, but just enough to kind of get you a little sneezy. A little sneezy, that's for sure. Yes, it is a beautiful verse. Vanessa's here too. So's Joanne. Good. Catherine. I love seeing you guys come on in. It's Q&A day too, by the way. We've got a couple of good questions in here. Hi, Margot. Good to see you. Our quote of the week has just been such a good one that I love so much. The struggle ends when the gratitude begins. And I'll tell you, this is when we're pushed. This is when we're pushed to gratitude, when there's a lot to be scared about, And gratitude really, really kind of pins us to the floor and says, what are you made out of? What are you made out of? And I've been having some time with that. And my gratitude, though, has been that I have this connection. I have this community. I have beautiful friends. I have beautiful hair apparently today. Thank you, Catherine. And even though I'm a little dark and a little gray everywhere, it turned out okay today. I have gratitude for so many things. And to get lost, to get sidetracked and not understand how incredibly important gratitude is right now, is to be projecting into fear, is to be projecting into the future, is to be projecting into a place where, there's a lot of unknowns. And I get that. We're in a place of a lot of unknowns. But can we agree about something right now? Pinkies up, my lovelies. Can we just agree about this? That God knows the plans He has for you. And He knows the plans He has for me. He has plans to prosper us, not harm us. And He has plans to give us a hope and a future. That's a promise. That's a promise. It's not just made in vain. That is a definite promise. And we can hold on to that, right? We can hold on to that. And we can also hold on to gratitude because we still have things to be grateful for. Gratitude hasn't gone anywhere unless you've pitched it aside. It's up to you to be the one with the gratitude. I can't give you a heart full of gratitude. I can remind you that our gratitude is absolutely critical right now. Our gratitude is going to keep our attitude, is what I look at. Because if I don't have gratitude, then I'm going to start thinking about things that I just shouldn't be thinking about because I'm catastrophizing at that point. So pulling back and looking at the promises, for I know the plans I have for you. I know he declares it. It's for us. It's for me. It's for you. It's not going anywhere. It's plans to prosper you. It's plans to give you hope in a future. God's not out to harm us, is he? He's not sitting up there with a gun trying to shoot us all down. What he's doing is cleaning up this earth and at this point, because I keep seeing these pictures. Have you seen the pictures of the Venice canals all cleaned up with dolphins and swans in them? And if you've been to Italy and seen the Venice canals, you know those are dirty things, disgusting and smelly even, but not any longer. Pictures of LA and just absolutely cleared up. No smog, just beautiful. There's something here. Maybe the earth was screaming and saying, hey, give me a break, you guys. I don't know. I surely don't have the answers, but I do have this. I have hope. I have a future. I have plans. I have God. I've got a community. I have you. You know what? This is where we are. This is where we are. We have a choice. We can embrace it, or we can flip out and go into this whole cycle of hand-wringing right on down the drain. And hand-wringing is the thing that is going to take you down. There's no point. Zero. What does worrying do anyway? What does it do? It keeps giving me... It gives me it puts me in panic mode. I don't need panic. Turn off the TV, turn off your brain, embrace the love that is there from your God above and mine. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. And there is a place to hang your hopes. I've been working on we have a big, by the way, we are going to do the Q&As. And if you have a question that you want answered for next Friday's show, not today, but for next Friday's show, send them into support@savingdinner.com and put question for Leanne on Friday. I will answer it right here on Friday. But I've just been thinking about this and really meditating on this Bible verse because I need the comfort right now. Not going to lie. Don't we all? Don't you need comfort? Comfort comes not from food. By the way, food is just, there's only so much food can do for you. It has one mission and one mission only, and that's to put food in your belly and to feed your cells. That's the whole point. When we give food too much, too much import in our lives, when we give food too much credence that they're going to end up comforting us, we remember this. I've told you my story about sitting there with just munching down, years and years and years ago, 20 years ago, and just like eating all of those M&Ms till my mouth was literally bleeding. The roof of my mouth was cut up. Trying to get comfort from food, is trying to get water from a stone. It's not going to happen. That's not what the stone is created for, and that's not what the food is created for either. Our comfort comes from each other. Our comfort comes from God. Our comfort comes from the knowing that we are never going to be alone. We are never going to be left to our own devices as long as we look up. Look up and look out as well, right? Let's look up and look out. When we look out, we see each other. I don't know about you, but I need you right now. I need you. I need my family. I need my comfort. I need the people that I love. I need that right now. I need to know that what I'm doing, I need to know that I have work to do. I need to have gratitude in the place of fear. When the fear comes, the gratitude needs to go full force. Full force. Because otherwise, we're going to be finding ourselves in the hand-wringing zone. And in the hand-wringing zone, there's only one way to go from there, and that's down. And I don't know about you, but for me, I got to stay up. I got to stay up, I got to look up, and I got to look out, because there is where my comfort is. That's it. Right there. Can't get it from food, can't get it from the news, can't get it from the hand wringers, can't. And the reason we can't is because that's not what it's made for. But God is with us. If you don't believe me, just try praying and try asking him for the comfort. He will give it to you. He will give it to you. It's Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Give you hope and a future. Now that future, we can't see what it is right now. But if there is plans for hope and there's plans for a future, then we can hang our hat on that. And that has to be enough for us. Amen? It's enough for me. Because right now I have gratitude that I have this verse. Right now I have gratitude that I have this community. Right now I have gratitude that I have my friends. I have the love of Mark. I have the love of my family. I have the love of my friends. That needs to be enough. I cannot get comfort from things that cannot give comfort. And looking in, remember that old song, Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places? Ladies, we can't do that. We just cannot do that. Now is the time to lean in hard and embrace the promises that God has given us. Now is the time to lean in hard and to hold on to the friendship and the family and the love that's there, And if you don't do it with gratitude, you're going to find yourself in the hand-wringer zone. And the hand-wringer zone is going to take you down, down, down. And I promise you, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. But you know what is? Looking up and looking out. Look up to God and look out to your community. They are both there. That is where I'm standing and sitting right now today. Even though it's a little scary, not going to lie. Even though I don't like what's happening out there. That's all completely 100% out of my control. But what's in my control is what's happening right here, right now on this little Facebook Live. That's it. Right now in this house on top of the mountain. So why not park it there? Don't you think? Have you ever been in a place where you've made a really serious error of you parked your car. You're thinking, wow, this is a good parking spot. And you parked it too close to that one car. You just parked it in there and then you ended up with a bunch of dings on your car. You knew better, but you didn't want to park further away because it was a little inconvenient. Well, it's the same thing with this. Don't park so close to the things that are going to harm you. Don't watch all that TV. Don't get sucked into the conspiracy theories and having conversations endlessly online, Facebook with the nutcases. Trying to convince somebody to change their mind. What is that about? What we need to be doing is conserving our energy and putting it toward our good health, putting it toward the love that we have in our lives with our families and our communities and our friends, and holding close to the things that we do have, all with a huge dose of gratitude, all with our eyes up and out. That's all we can do. So why not do that instead? That's where I am. That's where I'm standing today. Because the struggle ends when the gratitude begins. The struggle ends when the gratitude begins. And you know what that means? That our struggle for control, our struggle with the fear, our struggle with anxiety, our struggle with all of this, write down all the struggle things. People talk about the struggle bus, which I super hate. I want to blow the struggle bus up. No such thing. And there's no bandwagon either. You know what there is? There is love, there's community, there's all of these things over here that we have already that we're overlooking because the stuff out there is freaking us out. Enough. We don't, that's not where we are. We're in here. We're in here. And if we're in here and we're looking at the gratitude that we can have for every little facet of our lives, that's when the struggle ends, period. And I don't care what your struggle is. I don't. It doesn't matter. We all have something that's just not perfect, right? We all have something in our lives that's just not going well. But leave it alone. Concentrate on the gratitude. Concentrate on all the love that is in your life right now. Because when you do that and you have the gratitude for that, everything transforms and changes. This is huge. Because if we're going to be putting our eyes on the wrong things, we're going to go down to the hand wringer zone. And that hand wringer zone is nobody survives that. They don't. And you know what else? It not only dings you and makes you feel bad, but keep going, and it's going to take your health with it. It's going to take everything that you love and care about with it. Let's get over here to this place of love, this place of looking up and looking out and understanding the promises of God Himself. For I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you, not harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. That's right there. And I'm hanging my hat on that, right? Pinkies up, ladies. This is where we're going. Sorry about that. Just had to get that off my chest. All right. So we still do have some shopping cart stuff, right? We still have some stuff that you can shop for our supplements. It's kind of looking sad in the supplement shop, but I'm going to tell you right now, just buy your supplements from us. Buy what we've got. This is how you support a small business. By the way, this is how you do it. And I appreciate, everything that you're doing for us. We have vanilla and chocolate coming next week. So keep watching for that. I'm excited about that. So we have ships free, chocolate, unflavored, and fiber mender. All three of those. If you put them in your cart and some more things, just get everything. And you write ships free in the promo window, you get it shipped free. It's on us. Shipping's on us. And I'm happy to do that for you. Full Bloom is coming up, you guys. Full Bloom. Full Bloom is our online event. It's on April 18th, Saturday, April 18th, and we're going to be starting in the morning. And for you West Coast folks, that means you're going to be getting up for early coffee with me because we start at 9 a.m. Eastern. But I'm going to tell you what. If you're a woman right now who maybe you're on the other side of 50, let's go with that. And even if you're not, because I do have some women who aren't, if you want to live your legacy right now, this is the event for you because we're going to go through all this stuff and learn what it means to live our lives in full bloom. This is when a flower is the most glorious, and I want your life to be the most glorious. Go check it out. Go to savingdinner.com/bloom. You can join us for the day. There's a lot to come on that, and I'm really excited about it. We've got a lot of women coming. Excuse me. Allergies. We have a lot of women coming, and you know what? It's going to be amazing. It wouldn't be the same without you. So think about this. This might be the thing you need. We're also going to be doing some journal planning, by the way, and that will be happening too in the group. So if you've got the journal, we're going to be doing that as well. savingdinner.com/journal. And the reason I'm telling you about this is we're in a new quarter. This is the second quarter of 2020. Even though it seems like March was at least 365 days long, April's promising to be another long one. But this isn't time to be introspective, and we can start looking at really what do we want? When we leave our pandemic homes, when we leave, what do you want? What do you want? This is what we want to do. We have the PDF. It's $15, and you can get it and download as many copies as you want and keep refining it. And this is what I do, guys. This is it. Do you see this? This is a pencil. This pencil is how I use how I filled mine out so that I can keep correcting it and making it more custom and a better fit. But guess what? This is the good part. The customized better fit part means that I'm not going for perfectionism. I'm going for excellence. Because if something's not working, I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm going to go back to my little think tank and say, okay, so what's not working here? Let's fix that. That's excellence. Perfectionism would throw the whole thing out. How do you like that? Okay, so here we are. It is Q&A day. Do you love Q&A? I love Q&A. Because I always like to see, what are people thinking about? What do they need? Where are we right now with all of this? And we've got questions. So I've got some answers. So let's start right now with Amber Mays. She wrote in and she says, I'm a 40-year-old mama, currently breastfeeding my 23-year-old. That would be awful. 23-month-old. Sorry. Sorry, Amber. That was funny. I have 20 pounds to lose from pregnancy, and I'm typically a healthy eater. What program would be good for me? Low carb seems to affect my milk supply. Also, your supplements, are your supplements okay with breastfeeding? I struggle with inflammation. I love watching you every day. I can't tell you how blessed I am to find you. My husband and I would love to try for another baby after COVID passes. Hope to find a program for our little family. Excuse me. All right, Amber. Let's talk about this for a minute. All right, 20 pounds, and inflammation and stuff. Let's stay away from the inflammatory causing foods. Sugar and flour are not your friends. You don't have to go low carb, but I would go with good quality carbohydrates, especially because you are still breastfeeding. I don't know how much you're breastfeeding still at 23 months. Obviously, your child is eating now. So probably 2-3 times a day, or maybe just comfort nursing or whatever. And so my suggestion for you would be for you to look at doing, just look at doing a basic paleo menu. If you're going to be looking at dinner answers, we have dinner answers right now. That would be a really good thing for your little family. Dinner answers is $7 a month. I call it pandemic pricing because we've lowered the price to bring more people in so that we can help you with your menus, recipes, and shopping lists. You can go on there and choose different things that work for you regardless, but I would keep to sort of a paleo approach. And again, if, and I'm sorry, excuse me, you guys. I had the window open earlier, even though it was a little windy and cold. And there is pollen flying in this room. I can tell. Anyway, I think that would be absolutely right on for you. It's going to give you what you need. Also, any of our hot melt recipes, our keto recipes are good because it's good, healthy fat, which is really important for you, and keeping your calories up. We lose weight an ounce at a time. And just a little bit, adding a little bit of exercise, adding a little bit more, make sure that you're really hydrated. I would have myself on a hydration program where I set the alarms on my phone so that every 45 minutes it goes off saying, time to drink, to keep your milk supply up, and just keep eating good, healthy, strong food and stay away from the flat, inflammation foods. Sugar and flour, we had this discussion last night on the webinar, but sugar and flour right now are in short supply. Thank God, I say, because people are looking for comfort in all the wrong places. And sugar and flour are just going to absolutely crush you with inflammation. And that's just something nobody needs at this point. Today, by the way, in our cooking lessons, I'm going to be showing you how to do like a bazillion different marinades and make up all these little marinade packages with chicken in them for your freezer. So this is going to be a fun one. We're getting into warm season soon. Right now it's a little chilly here, but pretty soon we're going to be in a warm season. Wouldn't it be nice to have a freezer full of marinated chicken with different flavors? And I'll show you how to do this. That's today at 4:00 Eastern. If you want to join me downstairs in the kitchen, that'll be fun. But, Yes, my supplements would be okay with breastfeeding. Even InflaCrusher would be okay. I don't know if we have any of that right now. We could, if we do, we're low. I know that. The collagen would be beautiful for you right now. And we do have a couple. We have some chocolate and some unflavored right now available. We have more coming in next week. We have, those are the basic ones that I can think of, but keeping your supply up is everything. And that comes from quality nutrition and making sure that you're hydrated enough. And I think with those kind of things, that'll really help. The fiber comes obviously from, nuts and what have you. For you, because you are breastfeeding, even though you've got 20 pounds to lose, it will come off. I would suggest that you would do a sprint. Check out our sprint. You can see that at savingdinner.com/sprint. Use that as the basis for setting up your program and add some things in there. Now, I have a very strict rule about not eating snacks because we don't need snacks. Most of us don't need snacks. But for a nursing mama, I say you eat when your body tells you when to eat. That's it. Because if there's, game off. When you're in a nursing or pregnancy, it's a whole different ball game. But for the rest of us, no snacks. We don't need to snack. Why? I mean, because we're sitting and bored. That's what usually it is. Snacking is usually just the other word should be mouth entertainment, right? So that we have to look at it from there. But I think that the program for you that'll work best structurally would be the paleo meals, and then just add in other things that you like. And, honestly, using our program, there's nothing in there that will steer you wrong anyway. Our program is all, whether you're classic family, whether you're doing things paleo, keto, those basic recipes, they're all clean, healthy food. And that's what you need right now. All right. Let's see. The other one, this is also from Amber. How do you calm yourself when your hubby goes to work? We are on stay-at-home order, but my husband's work is not affected. Looking for ideas to calm in the storm. Well, we talk about this a lot, Amber, and we talk about what you think about expands. And what I would say, as soon as that little door closes and your husband goes off to work, that you be praying for him all day long, that he's protected, number one. 2, keep a good, when he comes home, give a good procedure, like make him take all his clothes off in the garage and go take a shower immediately, that kind of a thing. We have to be extra cautious, especially with a child at home. We want to make sure that we're not, things aren't going sideways. So just have some structures in place that make sense to keep things as clean as possible, and also keep him in prayer. I mean, that's all we can do. You don't have like a bubble that you can put him in when he goes out. I also think that if you heard the beginning of this show, that having something to hang your hat on, that a good basic Bible verse like the Jeremiah 29:11 that I shared, for I know the plans I have for you. Just to say these things and to meditate on scripture that calms and soothes your soul. We know these things. We know these things to be truths. We know these things that this is the stuff that we need right now. And I do believe that maybe while the earth is calming down and cooling down and cleaning up, that it's also a call for us to get back to the basics of understanding that who is really ultimately in control of all of this, right? It's not me. It's not you. It's certainly not presidents or prime ministers or anybody else. God is in control. And so if we can put it back onto him, and if we can look up and look out, like I said earlier, that's the thing that's going to calm us down. We have in place structures, and that's what we need to be using. We need to be praying. We need to be meditating on God's word, and meditating on things that expand and keep us centered, whole, and anchored. Having dinner nightly together as a family is an anchoring thing. It's secure. Everybody has their place at the dinner table, and you gather for a blessing, and it's a little circle that just isn't going to be broken. These are things that if we start to really concentrate on what they are, it's not just feeding the masses, but it's actually gathering together and holding our hearts together and giving thanks to the one who supplied this food in the first place. It's back to these basic things, these basic tenets of who we are as humans and who we are as women and what we need as women. So I would really strongly suggest use FaceTime and talk to your folks, your people, your friends, and get in, to connecting. Maybe talk a little bit about the news or whatever, just so you kind of, break things down, but also talk about things that are lovely and beautiful, that the daffodils are blooming and that you cooked a new recipe yesterday and that the baby is saying new words and things that you are joyful about. Because what we think about expands. And I promise you, it's this for you, it's this for me, it's this for every single woman that I know on the planet today and every man. We can only do what we can do. So if we are very careful about our thoughts are really the thing that are going to propel our behavior and the words that we say and the way that we feel. That is the gateway to our soul, So keep that in mind. Make a decision right now today that you are going to decide to stay in a positive mindset by simply turning your thoughts to God and turning your thoughts to the people who are already in your life, who already love you. And when we can do that, we can stay together and not fall apart. I don't want you in the hand-wringed zone. We know what that looks like. We want you here in a settled place. And if you're a part of the sprint, jump on in, girlfriend, because the people there are magnificent and they love each other and hold each other up, and it's such encouragement. It's a great group right here on Facebook. I hope that helped. All right, this is from Christy. She says, thank you for teaching us how to cook with what we have. I've made 2 of your dishes and we've liked them both, and I'm not a cook in the family, so this is huge. You've mentioned how to prolong the life of potatoes, celery, and cilantro in different shows. Could you teach a lesson about how to maximize freshness of all veggies and herbs by showing us what you do? Well, I can to a degree. The thing that we have to look at is like, what do I have on hand, right? And so the show and tell aspect of it has to go with what I have. So this is one of the reasons why, I'm not cooking from so many recipes as I am saying, I'm opening it up the refrigerator and starting to think about, what's here. And for the marinades and things, when you join me today at 4:00 Eastern, down in the kitchen right here, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a marinade and different flavor profiles and how it's just going to kind of expand some of the things that you can do. So with that in mind, let's see, you've got another part of this question here. So let me just take a look at that. Oh, of course, won't help me. For example, with celery, what you want to do is you want to take here it goes. Here's a few examples of what I need. Can you show us what you mean about foil and celery? How do I know how to set the moisture settings in my crisper drawers? Broccoli left in the bags turns slimy. Broccoli not in the bag goes limp. Bell peppers last no matter what I do. What should I do? Okay, these are really good questions. And these are questions that, listen, if you are trying to preserve your produce and trying to do the best that you can with what you've got, you cannot afford to let that just, go away. You cannot afford to allow things to get slimy on your crisper. So let's talk about this for a minute. First of all, celery and foil is like a miracle from God, because otherwise, if you leave your celery in a cello bag, it goes limp shortly. But if you cut the root end off, because that's where all the energy is going, right? Cut the root end off and then just roll the thing up and the celery up in some aluminum foil and stick it into the fridge, into the crisper, you're good. Now, as far as the moisture control, I just leave it on in the middle, because I mean, to me, it's just like moisture control. I mean, how much moisture do you need? How much moisture do you not need? With herbs, like if it comes to cilantro, it's really the only thing I buy. Occasionally I buy parsley. I buy, in the little containers, I'll buy some rosemary and sage and thyme and what have you for my fresh, when I make bone broth every week. But those things I just leave in the things, the little containers and just pop them in because they come home and they get used like within the next few days, so nothing goes bad. But when it comes to cilantro, I put it in a glass of water like this, and then I'll take the produce bag that it came in and put it over the top, not tuck it in, but give it, put it over the top, almost like I'm just sheltering it, and stick it back in the refrigerator. So air can still get up in there, and that cilantro will last 10 days. Otherwise, it'll turn to slime really quick in my little, if I left it in the bag and threw it into the produce drawer. So broccoli left in the bag will go to slime if you don't open it. But if you open the bag, sort of like, and put it in the crisper, it'll be okay. And my broccoli will last, I've had broccoli last 10 days, seriously. And what I do is I have sort of a sliding scale of how I use the fruits and vegetables that come in. So onions, of course, keeping your onions separate from your potatoes, very important. So you keep your onions in a basket. And if you've probably seen in my kitchen, they're behind me when I'm cooking on the show at 4 o'clock. There's a basket of onions. We've got onions, garlic, and shallots in there. And I keep them out on purpose. They need to be dry. They need to be not refrigerated. And they need to have lots of air circulating. I have potatoes in a plastic basket out of the cello bag and in a dark place, because otherwise, if they get lots of light, they'll start sprouting. And you know how it is. So, and they're also separate from the onions because the onions will cause the potatoes to sprout. It's a crazy thing, but they emit gases. Everything is energetic and has things going on, and this is the best way to preserve them that I know of anyway. Bell peppers are something that I use pretty much right away. So when I come home, I should say when Mark comes home, because I don't do the grocery shopping. He's the one that goes out and does it. I take the delicate stuff. The delicate stuff gets used first. So delicate stuff would be like lettuces and what have you. The lettuces are always the first things to go. They're thinner, they're more delicate, etc. Then spinach is a little more hardy. Bell peppers are right around in that zone, and those are going to be the next things to get used up. Zucchini's right along there. Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage are kind of on the last of the list, and cabbage, for heaven's sakes. I'm sure that if a nuclear bomb went off, the cabbage would still live, along with the cockroaches. But cabbages are just so super hardy. I strongly suggest everybody get on the cabbage bandwagon and really make sure that you're adding cabbage to a lot of things. Yesterday, I made a cabbage, an Asian egg roll in a bowl, with cabbage and ground beef and just a lot of good seasoning. It was delicious. And that is something, we've got leftovers, and I'm looking at that and thinking, for lunch, probably what I'm going to do is take some bone broth and add some of that cabbage roll in a bowl and maybe a little extra soy sauce, and that's going to be my lunch. It'll be a nice little lunch with protein in it, lots of fiber, and good old bone broth, because that does help that leaky gut. So let's hear it for the cabbage, ladies. So what we're looking at really is going from delicate to hardy, and using the delicates up first and the hardies up last. That's how it works. I hope that helps. And one thing I will tell you, I had a bowl, for example, of tomatoes, and tomatoes are one of those things you do not refrigerate, but they were starting to go bad. I all of a sudden looked over and I saw them kind of getting a little wrinkly and sad. So you know what I did? I took all of those tomatoes and I quartered them, and I was already roasting a chicken, and I put them in a roasting pan with a little olive oil, some oregano, and some garlic and onions, and I roasted them. And then when they came out of the oven, nice and a little bit browned and with the onions and all the stuff, I took them and scooped them into a Ziploc, marked them, and stuck them in a freezer bag. And I'll use them for something else. I have no idea what I'm going to use them for, but the point is they didn't go to waste, right? And that's what we need to be looking at. If you have something that's starting to get a little shrivelly or a little wiggly, don't toss it. Instead, chop it. I mean, if push comes to shove, chop it up, cook it up, and then stick it in a Ziploc or a Tupperware or whatever it is that you have, and throw it in the freezer. And then go back and pull all that stuff out when you're making, your one-of-a-kind soup. Because we do that, right? Anyway, that should really help you out, I think, a lot. Just be thinking in terms of when it's super delicate stuff that needs to get eaten first. I don't care what the date is, by the way. Even if you're buying those big tubs will say, oh yeah, it's good till April 10th. And I pulled some spinach out that was supposed to be good till April 10th. Let me just say that was today, right? April 10th is today. This was on Tuesday. It is no good. And I'm not going to eat stuff that smells like grass clippings. Oh no, I will not. So that was kind of disappointing. And don't do that to yourself. So make sure that you eat it early on. Lucy says, could riding my indoor bike and doing arms exercises a lot more be cutting down on my weight loss? Am I truly adding muscle? Yes, you are, Lucy. Very proud of you. I have a graphic that I should post sometime, that I have and it shows this is 5 pounds of fat and this is 5 pounds of muscle. So muscle takes up a whole lot less space than fat. That's how it works. So while you can, and this happened to me when a few years ago, I was like really feeling bad, and thinking, gosh, I haven't lost any weight or anything. But I went to go put on a pair of jeans that I had, and I could almost like fully pull them off. I was down really 2 sizes, and I felt thinner, so I couldn't understand what was going on, and it was all the muscle. So you never turn fat into muscle. You merely lose the fat and you develop the muscle. And as you develop the muscle, it becomes firmer and stronger and all of that. And it's also metabolic. It increases your metabolism. It gathers steam, if you will, and causes you to use more energy, which means you burn more calories, which means you burn more energy, which means that, it's better for your body. And that's you might not lose the weight, but you're certainly getting smaller. Just check it out. And we've had this before on the sprint, where people have said, well, I just don't understand. I'm just not losing the weight. And then they said, thank God I got out the tape measure because I saw that I lost 5 inches around my waist. 5 inches. That's a lot. And that's also getting rid of that deadly toxic belly fat. That's what we want to get rid of. See, you are gathering steam, Lucy. You're doing great. Let's see here. Boy, my computer is really slow. Hello. All right. Well, as soon as it decides that it wants to go forward, I will get the others. Oh, the other question she had is, may I eat pickled okra? Certainly. But, again, we're going back to this whole place. Pickled okra is like eating a pickle, but don't snack on it. Just don't snack on it. Have that be a part of a meal. We don't need snacks. We don't need mouth entertainment. What we need to have ourselves in a place of having either 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day, and eating when we're hungry, stopping when we're satisfied, and allowing our bodies to do the rest of it. It takes a minute for those little hunger hormones and the stomach stretcher receptors in there to tell your brain that you've had enough. So if we stop at the place of being satisfied, like this was a nice meal, and not just keep shoveling it in, that's my weakness, then it makes sense, right? It makes sense. Then our bodies are going to say, oh yeah, you're just completely fine. The other day, Mark made some beautiful steaks, and I love a good steak. And we had little fillets, and we had some asparagus. And so, I'm eating this steak and just relishing every little bite. And all of a sudden I'm starting to feel like I'm a little bit full. I'm kind of getting there. And I'm looking and I'm thinking to myself, this is how it works, you guys. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm saying, wow, there's only 2 bites left. 2 bites. And I almost started to eat it. And then I went, what am I doing to myself? I don't need it. Here's the thing, you guys. Understand this, that good food is good food, but too much good food is inflammatory. That's what we have to understand. We can only accept so much. We have a stomach that is so big that only needs so much. And we have an energy output that we only need to eat so much to output so much. You know what I'm saying? Energy in, energy out. We don't need to overdo it. So when we do that, when we are honoring of the system and we're honoring of what it takes and understanding, again, when we understand how our bodies work, when we understand that our stomachs need to communicate to our brain to shut it down and give it 10 minutes, that's all. Then if you're still hungry, go back and have some more. It makes it so much easier. Makes it so much easier. And it's so much better. It's we don't have to be like these, horses with feed bags strapped to us. There's no famine here, guys. We are not going to be, we're not going to be having the first aid truck pull out. Red Cross isn't pulling out, and that's it for a month. We have enough to eat, and we need to eat till we're satisfied. Satisfied, never full. Satisfied. There's a huge difference. And that also brings us to the place of gratitude, doesn't it? Because if you can have gratitude for what you have in front of you and that it is enough, we can stop cleaning our plates. We don't have to be a part of the plate cup. And so, I took that meat and I just plopped it right on Mark's plate. And I said, okay, you can have this because I don't need it. And he's like, really? Are you sure? He loved it. That silly thing. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Don't forget, 4 o'clock today, we are going to be doing cooking lessons. That's right. Cooking lessons is on. I'm going to show you how to make marinades for chicken. We're going to do up a bunch of different, I haven't even decided which ones, but I'm going to show you how to create your own marinade because it's not rocket science. It's super easy and there's 3 components to it. I'm going to show you what they are and I'm going to line them up and I'm going to just bam, 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 knock them out of the park. All right? So we've got that. And don't forget about Ships Free. We've got 3 products: chocolate, unflavored, perfect paleo protein, and fiber mender. Free shipping. Just write Ships Free in the promo window when you check out. The journal's available for you, savingdinner.com/journal. Go take a look at that and you can start planning the next part of your life, this next 90 days. Full Bloom is coming up in just 2 Saturdays, April 18th. I want you to be a part of it. Please check it out, savingdinner.com/bloom. And I just have one thing to say to Amy Marie, who's right there. Thank you for these beautiful flowers. Amy sent these to me yesterday. Are these not the most gorgeous things? She made me cry. She made me cry. I just so appreciate you. And you guys are part of the reason why I wake up every day excited. I love you all and I appreciate you all. And thank you too to all of you who are supporting Saving Dinner by becoming a Dinner Answers member. You can go to savingdinner.com. It's right there. Find out all about it. And $7 is all it takes. And we will supply you with menus, recipes, and shopping lists every single Tuesday. Every single Tuesday. And that's how you support this small little woman-owned business. And I just want to say how much I appreciate you all. You are all the best. Thank you, you guys. Love you so much. I will see you at 4 o'clock. Take care. Share this if you want. I appreciate you again. Peace.